So I live in Ennis in County Clare, and here we have many children and many young people. We have a few different junior youth groups that have been running for a very long time, and we have a children's class that's also been going for a few years now. We have, a bigger Baha'i community of a number of adults, and we have very few Baha'i youth. So a few years ago we decided that we needed to find more people that could work together to respond to the needs of the younger ones, the needs for their spiritual education, the needs for someone to kind of assist them to transition through the various stages of their lives.
I teach the children class, and children class has been running for quite a bit now, about 4 years. There's a junior group, there was 2 junior groups, one where I was in as well, and I finished. Now there's another junior group with younger junior.
Maria and some other guy went to our house, and they asked us if we want to join the junior youth, if we want to try it for a day, and they gave us the address. They told us what time we should come, and we just went there, and I really enjoyed it that time, so I keep on going with it. Many people are like messing around and doing stuff, so I think we should do something for neighborhood, that the kids would like play football and everything. We should make a project for them.
When the older ones, the older youth are making decisions to engage in behavior that is negative, then the younger ones often try to repeat that behavior, and we find that it becomes a cycle. So one of the things that youth have been trying to do is to set a new example, is to become a new type of youth, a type of youth that is contributing to society, a type of youth that is learning to see the world in a way where we can make choices, choices that lead to hope and not despair, choices to make efforts to improve our own lives and the lives of our communities, and to see confirmations.
We have a junior youth group, and we do a lot of projects. Like last 2 months ago, or 3, or even 4, you made the cupcakes, and then you sold them out, and you made a profit €100. We gave it to the people that they needed it to start off their junior youth group. I joined prayers because the kind of prayers they had and everything, the kind of speech everyone had, I really felt that Baha'u'llah is with us that time. When we went with a group and no one knew each other, but when we read the prayers, everyone were talking nice to each other and everything. Like we know like we know each other for a million years.
Choose for yourself a noble goal. Mighty, 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 ever, 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 mighty, 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 ever.
We were thinking, wow, that there's this conference. What does it mean for us? Who's gonna go? you know, we were feeling a bit frantic, trying to let everyone know. And then it kind of settled down and we got our heads together and we started working. And one of the biggest things was we realized that it was important for all of us to have ownership, you know, and it was 250 euros for each person to participate in the conference. And that's a lot of money, especially here in Ennis. So we started fundraising, and the number of fundraising initiatives were amazing. You know, even people who would already have the 250 euros they would need to go just started saying that they want other people to participate, and therefore they're fundraising not just for themselves, but they're fundraising for their friends, even friends that they didn't even know at that time, to be able to participate.
I wasn't interested, but then when I actually understood the purpose of it, and when I saw a lot of people starting to work, like trying to go and be involved in it, I just couldn't believe it. Studying the materials then was just like so touching that I really wanted to go to the conference and learn, and when I come back to change a few stuff around. We met up people from around Ennis, we studied materials, we fundraised, we lifted the earth ball, and we had an earth ball. We colored it into the earth as earth, and we had to carry it for 5 km, and it was just amazing. It was massive.
Seeing things really in terms of community. This question of who is the Baha'i community and who is, you know, for example, the wider community is not a question that we're looking at too much anymore. We're really looking at this question as who is part of this community. And so, well, a few years ago we'd say, well, we don't have Baha'i children, so we don't have children's classes. Now we'd look and we'd say actually that we know that there are that there's thousands of children in Ennis, and that there's thousands of junior youth and thousands of youth. So we've kind of each been trying to figure out how we can change those numbers slightly. So now that there would be about 12 children to 24 children that are in some type of children's educational program. There'd be around 30 young people that are in some type of junior youth group or around the junior youth groups, and we'd have somewhere around 30 youth that are in and around or have been participating in the Training Institute in the past couple of years. So we have that number, but we still see that the numbers are much higher than that. So we're all trying to figure out how do we serve together, how do we benefit from the Training Institute so that we can develop our skills so that we can contribute effectively in our community. And I think we've been learning a lot over the past few years, and we're learning that we need a lot more people if we're going to learn about this, and if we're going to learn about it in a short span of time.
Camberwell is a very diverse community. There are lots of youth in this community, and they tend to seek and belong to something. So we need to channel the energy into the right source. And yeah, at the moment I think the youth are seeking for something greater to take part. What we found in Camberwell, the youth there are playing a role into improving the society, and they are very willing to engage into something that would promote well-being of their community. Within the neighborhood at the moment, we got some youth that are involved in junior youth groups, and also we have a children's class that is running. In the junior youth group, we got 15 junior youths that they attend on a regular basis, so we're very blessed. And with the children's classes, we got about 10 children, and they also attend on a regular basis. And some of the youth of the neighborhood, they got involved in the junior youth group to help out, and those are the potential youth that are going to go to the conference.
Moving to Camberwell wasn't quite as easy as we had hoped. We spent a long time with a group of friends looking for a place to live, and prices are quite expensive, and we didn't find anything suitable, and it was quite a challenging time. But I suppose it was meant to be. A friend of ours just so happened to know of a place quite perfectly located, which was actually abandoned and not being used at the time, which we've managed to make it livable somehow. And now some more friends have joined us here as well. So I think it's created quite a community feeling, and there's a room which we're able to use and a garden which allows us to invite friends over.
It really feels like a neighborhood. It feels like a real community where there are shops around, where the people live and work. So it is really easy to go up to people and approach them and talk to them about the community and find people that can assist and take ownership of their own reality.
The youth have been excited about this conference, and today we're doing a fundraise to help some of the local youth to go to the conference, and we're just going to go to the local park and sell some cupcakes, and it's also a great opportunity for the junior youth to do a service project where they're going to paint some nails, sell some lemonades, and yeah, so hopefully we're going to get all the youth that are involved in this project to go to the conference.
Elders of my kids helps with the youth group, and my kids are learning a lot to do with unity, love, and forgiveness. And you know, they have now other kids who are also going to come to the youth club. They'll come to our house, so it's bringing them togetherness, which I like that. All the kids who comes to the youth club have a lot of love now, and now they are able to go into people's house, and because we know each other, we don't have any reservation anymore, so it's good.
Joanna and one of her, was it Alicia or something like that, or one of her friends came to come and do, and asked that would you come to Cambridge House to, like, we're just doing a youth thing. And I was like, okay, I'll come, I'll try. And my first day was such a lovely thing, and I said to myself, okay, I'll have a try. And when I start coming for like the past 5 weeks, start reading a book, and it's about confirmation. And before, I didn't used to be nice to people, I used to get rude to people, you know. And since that day I started reading, I started being nice, start talking to strangers, get to know them, and such a I was happy to do it, and at the moment, even I'm still trying to help other people.
It's a fundraiser for us to get into a conference in the junior youth group across London. The conference is about love, unity, and hope for us to get a better future.
I really like the way everybody's learned from this. Personally, I've learned to not be in my comfort zone, because I've learned to talk to people. You know, you meet all these nice people, and you just learn to be respectful. You know, you learn morals of life and the virtues, especially. That's the top thing I would say about this youth group, that we've learned how to be respectful, loving, caring. Yeah, virtues.
These activities that the youth in our community are a part of are teaching young children, empowering junior youth between the ages of 12 and 15 years old, and hosting devotional meetings, running study circles. We have a number of youth who we're just trying to really engage and to be resources for these activities, so that the activities aren't just held by 2 or 3 people, but are held by larger and larger numbers.
I've just come to this country, and I've been here for 6 months, 6 months. But first I met Andisha and Sasha, and they helped me and they told me about children class. But I'd already done some Ruhi books, and so I knew about children class, and I started children class, and the children class are amazing, and so I have very good time with children. So it changed me. I can contribute something small to society for betterment of our society, but actually within having children class, I'm trying to actually to change myself.
I met Sarah at the university, and I come from Brazil, and I was missing something. I was missing to be part of a community. I was missing to be part of a religions group. And one day Sarah was telling me that she was part of this community group, and it would be lovely for me to get together. And I was like, yes, I will try one day. And the first time that I tried, it was amazing. Everyone was like a huge family, and I felt so good with them, and everyone was just sharing the same thing in their heart. They all wanted just be united, and I thought that was amazing. Our obligation is now to teach the younger ones, and the younger ones with 15 years old, they would teach the 13 years old, and the 13 years old, they would teach the 10 years old, and this would be a cycle.
Today we are very happy to see all of community of Baha'i. We are the Congolese from Congo and escaped the war from Tanzania. Because of life in the camp, I was learning only Rui, book 1, but here I come here in England. I get on of learning the Rui, and here I feel better than in the camp, because there I was in the camp, but here is no a camp. Here I'm free. Even if we are not a lot here in Sheffield, but a few which we get on and we join it together, and we do it very good, I think.
The role that youth have been playing within Sheffield, we've basically been having lots of youth gatherings, and throughout this 2 years I've been here, we've had a couple of book ones, and I think we're still understanding kind of the role of youth and the importance and the responsibility that they have at this time. I think with the up and coming conference, throughout this whole year, we've kind of, our vision has become a lot more clear about, as youth, what we have to do and what we have to understand in order to build this kind of new world.
Everyone was already inviting me for the youth conference, and I was like, what is that? Because I didn't know very well, and they were like, no, it's gonna be lovely, you're coming with us, we are already counting on you. And I was like, okay. And then I went back home, and I did some researches about what was the youth meeting, and I think 3 or 2 days later, I texted Sarah, and I was like, Sarah, I really want to go in another meeting. And she was like, really lovely, come. And then I started getting even closer to the youth conference. And now I'm posting on Facebook. I'm sharing the link. I'm so excited to go. So that that's pretty much, everyone makes you feel so comfortable. Then you just feel my God, there will be the whole UK making you feel comfortable. It's gonna be your whole United Kingdom like family.
If you hand up if you're going to the conference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you coming? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people here going to the youth conference.
It's me, I know it's me, thou art my haven and my refuge. When have I sought, nor will I see, save thee, save thee. Thou seest me, thou knowest me, thou art my haven and my refuge. None have I sought, nor will I see, save thee, save thee.
Welcome to all of you to this wonderful gathering. You know, you've seen and heard of some of the examples of these initially 95 youth conferences that were called. But when it became apparent that the response of young people around the world was so great, and in order to accommodate the desire of many from the different parts of the world to attend, to be at one of these gatherings, a further 19 were called, bringing to a total 114 youth conferences all around the world. And if you haven't yet seen the reports of them, read reports of them, you need to look at the website, which recounts stories of individual young people, of groups of youth from such varied backgrounds and different places, making journeys, sometimes taking many days, on occasion, unfortunately, arriving at the youth conferences just before it ended, but having a desire to be together with a group of young people who long to make a mark and to find a way to make a contribution. So we are here at one of these 114 youth conferences, together with about 1,000 young people who are looking to explore these themes. And, you know, one cannot fail but be affected by the joy, vibrancy, and energy which is felt here.
I've come over from Ireland as a group of youth, and we've come to this conference, which is one of 114 conferences taking place across the world, which is for youth who recognise that actually they need to make a contribution to the advancement of the world. And some people seem to be, there's lots of youth that we know, and lots of people are in different stages, and some people are just starting to think about these things, like have been introduced to this idea, and other people for many years have been starting to do this work and have been working maybe with the junior youth in their areas or with children. But this is an opportunity where everyone's come together from across. I think in this one we have people from the UK, from Ireland, from Iceland, from Gibraltar, from Malta and the Faroe Islands, and we've all come together, and it's been an opportunity to study some very significant concepts that I think are really going to help us when we go back to our communities and carrying forward this work.
I'm in the junior youth activity program that we do every weekend in Camberwell as well. I'm training to be an animator, and through that the other animators, so there's a youth conference coming up, so they would like me to attend and have a feel of what it actually happens with other youths around the world. So yeah, that's what I do.
For me personally, because I'm very much involved with helping youth anyway, I was brought on board by one of the youth leaders to come and experience what it's like to be in a youth conference. So yeah, I came along to see how it is and to enjoy the festivities here.
At the youth conference, I found out that there's actually plenty of youth from Ennis that I found out that we could actually work together, and that I've got support behind me, so it'll be kind of easier. I didn't know I have as much support as I do now.
I think it's really nice to see everyone bonding together in the youth conference and getting to know each other. So it makes us feel like we're family and we're one, and we all know the same thing.
Through the sessions we've been doing, I've learned that renewal of the mind is very important to help others spiritually and to have an impact on others. Also, I feel like the session we did today, we learned how to be true friends and to be sincere in everything we do. And it's not just making yourself happy or progressing by yourself, it's also good to encourage the people around you to do things for the community.
Just being around everyone here, everyone's kind of, we've heard the phrase that kind of radiating that feeling that you get when you're serving. You can see that in the people around here, and you can see the community that they've built. And we always say, when we walk from one building to the next, we always take an extra 10 minutes because everyone's meeting people that they haven't met in a while, but everyone seems such good friends. A lot of the people in my group I've only met yesterday, and we speak like we've known each other for so long.
We're all together, and already we're starting to form bonds of friendship that we didn't have before. I mean, yeah, we were all friends before, but it's like now we have this bond with this purpose, and we're all going to go back, hopefully, with the same aim, and we're all going to try and help each other and go back with the plans. So yeah, I think it will help us from what we've already started, to carry on and have a fresh energy about it when we go back.
We're all here to find ourselves and to find who other people really are and have fun.
We have an important contribution to make as youth, and that we have to make these choices, but there's forces that are acting upon us, and sometimes we don't even recognize that these forces exist, and these exert different influences on us. So there's the force of apathy, or the force of the influence of the media and how we're thinking. So one part of this conference is actually enabling us to become aware of those forces and to reflect on them, not just in the abstract, but actually thinking about the decisions we're making in our life right now about how we serve, how these are influencing the decisions we make.
We're studying about faith in young people in general, our generation in general. And what I learned is that in the book it says some parents do not listen to us. So there's always a clash between the child and the parents. So in my opinion, I've learned that our parents should try to get where we're coming from, and we should try get where they're coming from, so that we can live happily.
Coming to the youth conference is a way of seeing a lot of people at one place who have a unified vision, and knowing that you have a group of people from your local neighborhood that are there to support you, encourage you, and engage in conversations and in discussions about community building activities. That is truly great, and that's why it's so unique to be at this conference, to be with people that have a unified vision to build a community that builds on trust, love, justice, and all these virtues.
I think I got something.
That's nice. Across the world, oh, till we gather. Oh, till we gather in souls of youth conferences, sharing the same maintenance of thousands who have much in common.
I always felt that I was not absolutely complete in my heart, but it was, for me, I thought it was normal because I didn't know what was missing. It was an empty space, but I never noticed. And when I started serving and when I came to the conference, and then I knew that now I was completely fulfilled inside me, because now I really know what happiness is. And it's really interesting because if you never experience such thing in your heart and in your life, you don't know what is missing. But now, if something happens and I have to stop serving, I would really be really sad and really depressed. And so I just want to share one more thing really fast. A lot of people had discussed it about friendship and how false choices could affect your life. And I'm just finishing my master's right now, and I was concluding my master's, and I had to write a dissertation, and I had 3 months to do that. And the first 2 months I was not in the Baha'i community yet, and I had a lot of time to write it, but I was all the time procrastinating. And in the last month I was so busy with all the servants and all the devotional meetings, and really, it's really incredible how just in that month that I was really busy, I could finish the whole thing. So really,
Kind of purpose of my aim was to discover, or kind of decide, how important service is. Because I'm in a year just before uni. It's a year where you decide if you want to go service or study. And I found out here, through my experience here with the group, that service is actually important, because you learn as well while serving, and once you're serving you just learn so much experience, and it's just really great.
Humanity is only one, regardless if you come from South, North, Africa, America, black, white, doesn't really matter. We're just only one. Yes, we do have different backgrounds and culture, which kind of just does identify us as person, that you came from this area and from that area, but that should never, ever, it should not never, ever divide us.
We would offer certain Esteem is nothing in the world, incorruptible wealth.
Going to the youth conference and knowing people from all over the UK was such an amazing experience because you could see that everyone was so, like, they were so happy to meet you, and it looked like that you already knew everyone in there because everyone just had the same direction and the same sense of purpose, that you just feel comfortable with them and sharing your views. And also it was an amazing opportunity to larger the Baha'i people that you know, because being a Baha'i sometimes is quite hard because people, they don't know and they just look at you like, what is being a Baha'i? Like, what is the Baha'i faith? And sometimes people, they don't believe. So it's really good because you're just with people that they have the same views as you do, and they just give you more strength to keep going and to keep explaining to people no, being a Baha'i, it's not just putting words in the world. It's just it's also living deeds for the future generation. It was an amazing experience.
Mwanzoni walivyotuambia kwamba kuna mkutano wa vijana, tulijisikia raha sana kwa sababu na sisi ni vijana. Wakatuambia kwamba tutafute pesa kidogo tuchange twende kwenye conference. Tulifanya nguvu tukapata kidogo ya kwenda, lakini hatukuwa na hisia ile ya kujua kwamba wanaweza wakasema kitu fulani kule.
Hata na mimi siku ya kwanza kutuambia eti kuko conference, nilikuwa najiuliza conference gani hiyo vijana? Wataenda kusema nini? Na nikaanza kujiuliza maswali. Tukasema sawa, hakuna shida, wakasema tuchangie hela kidogo.
Yale masomo yamenibadilisha, maana siku ile nilikuwa mtu mwenye ajali sana. Yale masomo yalikuwa yanalenga vipi tunaweza tukafunza watoto ili watoto wawe kwenye maadili mazuri, na imenibadilisha kwa sasa. Kwa muda huu ninavyokuwa hapa, kwanza nilikuwa kwenye klasi ya watoto kufunza watoto.
Hata mimi pia ilinibadilisha kiroho. Kwanza sikuwa najua kuomba na kitabu, sikuwa najua kama naweza kufundisha children, sikuwa najua, lakini tulitoka kule tukaja hapa hadi hapa Sara wakatuambia eti tuanze kufundisha watoto. Nikamwambia mimi sijui, sitaviweza kufundisha watoto. Ananiambia utapima tu. Tukaanza kupima kufundisha watoto, hadi hivi tuko tunafundisha watoto, kazi zinaendelea vizuri, wanaelewa, nasikia. Yaani hapo nilibadilika sana.
those months leading up to the conference there was a lot of intensity, but we also had a lot of questions about whether the youth that we were inviting would actually even be a part of what we were doing afterwards. And I think we were also a little bit hesitant sometimes to be opening up to more and more people, because we were like, really, what is, it's a conference and people are going to be coming to it and it's going to be great, but following up is going to be really, really hard. And then actually coming away from it and realising that it has had a transformation on people's hearts, especially the youth who are living here. Some who really weren't very engaged at all before found it really hard to be able to express how they wanted to be of service as young people in their community. Really came away feeling like they had a stronger sense of purpose, that they wanted to be a part of a group. It wasn't just something that they were doing as individuals, but they really wanted to do with each other more than anything. So those bonds of friendship, I think, have really stuck. And we're continuing to work on that, which we also realise is not just by meeting, but actually also doing things together practically.
One thing I think we've recognised or witnessed as a result of being quite busy is the beauty of actually stepping back and letting other people take charge of their own activities. So not being really attached to having a children's class run exactly as it was by the book, and making sure that the book is or that the activities are carried out in a way which you are used to, but instead stepping back and just let other people run activities in their own way. And we've really seen how when you do step back, then other people do naturally stand up in your place and really blossom into amazing teachers, amazing animators. Polly's there, and Mawazo, 16-year-old Mawazo, is there teaching the children's class. And 1 month ago, it was like us and our friends doing the activities, which now we're sitting here talking to you and they're running the show behind us.
All of us from Camberwell, well, the majority of us, we travelled together to the youth conference, both there and back, and we all stayed in the same area, like either in two blocks. And this was the first time, I think, that we had really spent a lot of time together in one go. And we learned so much about each other, I feel.
Going to the conference as a group helped us to understand individual qualities, what I am made of, what you are made of, understanding each other more better, because before the conference we've not had the time to bond, to stay together that long. So that conference gave us opportunity to come together, group bonding, team building. So we bonded very well, understanding each other, how to relate with one another. So that also helped coming back from the conference, how I relate in my community. From the experience from the conference helped me relate to the people in my community, my neighborhood, even more better. I no longer relate to them the way I used to relate to them, because now the conference gave me a bigger picture that you might seem quiet, doesn't mean you're quiet. Until I take the step towards you, I wouldn't know what you're made of. So giving the opportunity to take the bold step towards my neighbor, and the approach the way and manner to which approach you.
The youth conference, for me, and I think for a lot, was a bit of a roller coaster in terms of crisis and victory. I think that we actually had quite a few crises, or at least challenges, that we had to work through as a group, and there were multiple things going on at the same time, and I just think that it was new for a lot of people, and I think that just that in itself brought us closer together. The fact that at the beginning I felt, how is this going to turn out? Like all these new people, we don't know each other. We're learning about all these new things that are amazing, and yet they're also, some of them are quite difficult concepts, and it's very intense. I thought, how is this going to happen? But by the end of the youth conference, the level of consciousness had been raised, and I think people were filled with love. I think we were all filled with love for each other and for everyone else at the youth conference. It was incredible to see how 1,000 youth all in the same room had this amazing uplifted feeling that you just made you think, if the whole world was like this, it would be incredible.
After the conference, I've been a lot closer to the youth than before, and I've realized that there are more people in the world that we can help. I learned a lot of things that I didn't even know, and I got to know a lot of people that I didn't even know, because normally you can't go to a youth conference and start talking to other people randomly, because in London they'll be thinking, why are you talking to me? I don't know you.
Post-youth conference, we've been able to, from the youth conference, I feel like this support has been solidified, or like a network, or I'm not sure of the right word, but a group really, that we feel we can lean on each other. So individuals within the group have arisen to start junior youth groups as a result. Well, maybe it wasn't just as a result of the youth conference, but I think of the general feeling of support in our neighborhood. We feel that although as an individual we want to start a group, we feel that there is the support around us that will help us do this. Will be there to reflect with us, will be there to plan with us. If we encounter challenges, there will be people to talk about it with. So it almost makes you feel like anything is possible.
This is the program, as you can see, and 11 o'clock is when we were all supposed to arrive here. 11:30 was the making cards and making the hampers. 1 o'clock we leave for central London. 1:30 meet homeless people for giving them the hampers.
We're going to central London to meet the homeless and give them food hampers. And we're doing that due to the fact that some people don't have enough money to buy stuff.
Youth in my junior group are beginning to come together, and gradually it's going outside to the community, and by that way what we learn, our lifestyle is being transferred into the community, and it spreads out, and before you know it, just a matter of time, everyone will start living the way life is supposed to be, peaceful and togetherness.
I think in society the natural tendency, or the thing that we're taught, is that we're not necessarily inviting to new people. We maybe are friendly, but to actually go out of our way and include others who haven't been included in this circle of intimate friends is challenging. We expect people to come to us to try and make friends. I mean, I think this is something that we need to work through. We need to understand that actually to create this environment of mutual support, we need to go out and bring people in, make them feel comfortable as well. And I think this is something that some of the younger ones are learning as well, the younger youth, like when they're 15 or so, that it's an interesting thing for them to then say, actually, I can have the influence to make someone else feel comfortable and feel like they're part of this group.
The London Youth Conference was fantastic. I mean, one of the things that it did was it brought so many hundreds of people from the various countries together, and that we could just celebrate how many people are working together to try to make our communities better.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people trying to do the same thing like me. It wasn't just like me and a few people from the neighbourhood, but like a lot of people around the country.
My experience at the conference was that I had an amazing time. What we learned was about forces in society and like friendship, and loads of people giving different ideas of how we can enlarge the conference, how we can enlarge the junior youth and change society.
I could see with the other people that I'd come with, some of whom had never been to a large youth event like this at all, and just it was quite incredible to see the effect on some of these people we'd only met within the last 2 months, and then they were there and they were quickly felt themselves as part of this much larger movement of young people. And for myself, I felt this as well, that impacted all.
I usually didn't realise how many of us were there from Manchester, because we usually didn't meet as much as that big of a group. Then when we went, we found out on the bus there was a lot of us trying to do the same thing in our neighbourhood, and just made us become more friends and more involved in stuff around as well, not just in our own groups, but in different other groups, helping out, being there for each other.
It was good having people from NS because you knew there, like at least, like you wouldn't have to worry about not knowing anyone there. Like you knew someone there, so like you wouldn't have be worried about like being alone and like not being friends with anyone.
The thing that stood out the most to me was the fact that we are not alone. That there are so many more people. You know, the notion of working with people who are not from the Baha'i community and the fact that all of us can be actors, that we all can be protagonists and contributing to building this world that Baha'u'llah has described wasn't new to me, but actually seeing how many youth are ready to arise and to stand shoulder to shoulder and building this world based on Baha'u'llah's writings was something that that was so visible that I couldn't deny it.
Since we returned from this conference, this notion of a group of friends who are working together. Like I've noticed how in all of our language, the way we're describing what we're doing to other people and the way we're interacting is this real sense of a group of friends who, and it's not necessarily what we understood a group of friends to be before, because it's constantly aware of being outward looking and having others joining us and the purpose of the friendship being to strive towards the betterment of our community.
Just showed the way that if you're friends, if they'd accept the way you're socializing in different ways and not being just in a bad environment. Are you friends just because you're doing bad stuff together, or is it because you're doing good stuff as well?
The activity I'm doing is a children's class. Because I think it's important for like children to be guided in the right direction, because sometimes like their friends or society can lead them in a wrong direction, which is like, you know, not good for society either. One day we decided to clean up the estate, like we started to pick up rubbish and like to keep it green, like to keep it no litter and stuff like that. I had went and talked to a few people about explaining to them what the junior youth program is and what children's classes are. Some of them were quite surprised because they were like, you can't, like, it's amazing how like someone can try and change NS. But like some of them like had no hope, so they were like, you can't change NS, you know. They didn't think you could do it. They were like, NS is just gonna be the same it is, like as always. So some of them had no hope, but then some of them were very hopeful. And those who were very hopeful wanted to do the training for the junior youth program.
More stuff started happening, like after we came back. There's starting being new book ones happening. The junior youth festival that hasn't been on for quite a long time. We had devotionals, we had reflection meetings, we were meeting up with parents and explained to them what's the purpose, what we do. They were shocked. They thought it was brilliant. They wouldn't think I'd do something nice like that.
In a year from now, I think the community will look different because there'll be different faces, there'll be more people arising and serving, you know, there'll be a lot more joy